Hey guys, so today I'm gonna watch a almost 10 minutes video. So if this is too long for you, you can see in the gray line I put like the breaks that explain exactly where are we talking, where are we watching, where are we reacting. So if you want, you could just jump for this. Today I'm gonna watch another video about the Jewish people in India because I absolutely love to educate myself about what is happening to my people in your land. So let's start.
Today, I'm taking a break from the usual format to highlight a piece of Jewish history that often gets overlooked. India is famously a hotspot of religious diversity. It's got homegrown religions like Hinduism, Sikhism, and Jainism, amidst folk traditions in the East, the foundations of Buddhism, and imports like Islam and Christianity. So it shouldn't be surprising that Judaism also has a long history there. But unlike in Europe or West Asia, the Jews of India constituted multiple distinct communities that arrived from the West at very different times, each bringing something a little different, and each adopting different aspects of the culture that they found there. The first contact between Jews and India probably took place during the Persian or Hellenistic periods. The vastness of Cyrus and Alexander's empires expanded the known world to those within it, opening new frontiers for knowledge, warfare, and most importantly, trade. During the Hasmonean and Herodian periods, the majority of Jews already lived outside of Judea, and while most of that diaspora stayed firmly in the Mediterranean sphere, small, close-knit communities also spread into Arabia. By the time of King Herod, Jewish communities had firmly settled in modern-day Yemen and Ethiopia, hugely important stops on the spice trade routes between Europe and India. And it was probably a group from Yemen that first cut out the middleman and first arrived on the Malabar coast, in what is now Kerala. In fact, when Jesus' apostle Thomas made his mission to India, he came in search of Jewish traders already living there.
No, that's pretty cool.
But it wasn't until the First Jewish-Roman War that a permanent Jewish community was firmly established, settling in the port city of Cranagore near Cochin around 68 CE. These Cochin Jews lived pretty well, with no record of local persecution throughout late antiquity and the Middle Ages. In the 11th century, King Bhaskara Ravivarma issued a series of copper plates proclaiming a merchant named Yusuf Rabban as Prince of the Cochin Jews, and guaranteeing his people the full rights of citizenship and an exemption from standard duties and tariffs from Western trade, which shows just how important the Jewish community had become to the region.
Wow, I did not know
But
that.
little did the Cochin Jews
really
know that
interesting.
they were not the only Jewish community in India by that time. Sometime in the 1st or 2nd century, 14 Jewish traders were shipwrecked on the coast of what's now Maharashtra. The Spice Coast, this was not. And failing to stay in contact with the rest of the Jewish world, the form of Judaism practiced by what came to be known as the Bene Israel drifted further and further from normative Judaism. Only in the early modern period did Cochin Jews re-establish contact. Around the same time, a third wave of Jewish migration arrived. I haven't reached this point yet in my regular series, but after ending Muslim rule on the Iberian Peninsula in the late 15th century, Spain and Portugal caved to international pressure by expelling their large and massively influential Jewish community. In the Spanish Empire, Jews were largely out of luck and had to convert or leave. But when Portugal expelled its Jewish population in 1496, enforcement was less consistent across its domains, and many Jews from there rode the wave of colonial expansion by resettling in Goa. Though it wasn't long before the Inquisition came to Goa, so most of them resettled in Madras and Cochin. In Cochin, the mix of Sephardic and pre-existing Cochin Jewish culture birthed a new wave of gorgeous synagogue architecture that I think the rest of us could stand to learn from. In Madras, these Paradesi Jews cultivated good relations with local rulers, who often relied on them to transport precious Golconda diamonds for export. Though the Portuguese, who had a monopoly on the diamond market in Europe, wouldn't deal with these Jewish merchants directly, as they were still persona non grata on Portuguese soil. That would turn out to be a mistake. See, India wasn't the only place where Jews had fled from Portugal. By the late 17th century, many had also settled in the rising financial hubs of Amsterdam and London, where, through the miracle of modern shipping, they continued to stay in touch with their Indian relatives. These long-distance contacts, in turn, proved very useful to British and Dutch trading interests. By that time, Madras had already passed into British control, and both the East India Company and local Jewish merchants were very eager to break Portugal's monopoly on Golconda diamonds. With these newfound business connections, a Madras merchant named Jaime de Paiva was able to buy his own diamond mines, acquire Jewish access to the East India Company's concession at Fort St. George, and bring fellow Jewish artisans and traders together to establish Mint Street, still one of Chennai's main shopping streets to this day.
Oh, cool.
Hell, de Paiva's widow remarried the British governor, Elihu Yale. Yes, that Yale. Apparently, it was quite the scandal on both sides of the aisle. At the same time in the Middle East, the Mamluks of Iraq had seized power from the Ottoman Empire. Although Iraq's Jews initially did well under Mamluk rule, the final Mamluk ruler of Iraq, Dawood Pasha, ruthlessly persecuted the Jews of Baghdad, compelling many of its wealthiest families to decamp for Kolkata, Surat, and Bombay. And it's from the latter city that the Sassoon family of Baghdadi Jews built a shipping empire. The origins of this empire are not great. In the 1830s, David Sassoon cornered the market on Indian opium to sell to China. In fact, he's probably the most successful drug lord in history. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Wow, okay.
The East India Company believed that selling opium to China was necessary to correct Britain's trade imbalance with the Qing Empire because they were mercantilists and mercantilism is stupid, but that's a rant for another time. After the Opium Wars, David's son Albert built the first deep-water dock in Bombay. Until then, steamships had been restricted by the shallows at low tide. And while that might not seem like a big deal, it totally transformed the economic geography of India, with more ships docking at Bombay rather than the British headquarters at Calcutta. In a sense, this one dock permanently shifted the balance of power in India westward, where it's remained to this day.
This is awesome.
With company rule in India long over by this point, many of David's descendants who'd made their own names in shipping steadily migrated to Britain, where they became heavily involved in politics and publishing. And yes, the British hairdresser Vidal Sassoon was a distant cousin of this very family, though from a Greek branch, not the Indian one. In 1947, India gained its independence from the British Empire, and over the course of the 1950s, most of India's Jewish population relocated to Israel. Although Jews had never experienced any kind of state persecution in India, which, let's be honest, is pretty exceptional, many families were nevertheless eager to return to the land of their ancestors. Unlike in many European Orthodox traditions, India's Jews had no religious taboo against a non-Messianic Jewish state. Since then, relations between India and Israel have remained strong, with many Israeli Jews still able to speak the nearly extinct language of Judeo-Malayalam.
Cochin alkalake shalom.
1953 ഇസ്രായേലിൽ പഠിച്ച് അവിടെ നിന്ന് വന്ന് സഭയിൽ പോയി സഭയിൽ നിന്നും ഇവിടെ വന്നപ്പോൾ 55 വന്നു 55 വന്ന് അന്ന് മുതൽ ഇതുവരെ ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ തന്നെ മോശാവിനെ പറ്റി.
But the story of Judaism in India didn't end there, and it still hasn't. Maybe this shouldn't be surprising, but although Jews in India never numbered more than 30,000, and only 5,000 today, they have been a disproportionately visible presence in Bollywood. In fact, not only have Jews thrived in India, but other Indian groups have adopted Judaism as their own. After receiving visits from Presbyterian missionaries in the early 20th century, a tribal chieftain in the state of Mizoram had a dream that his legendary ancestor Manmasi was actually the biblical patriarch Menashe, namesake of the largest tribe in the northern kingdom of Israel during the First Temple period. Since then, a community of some 10,000 Chin, Kuki, and Mizo people have fully embraced Jewish tradition as the Bene Menashe, with about 3,000 having immigrated to Israel. Though its Jewish community was never very large, India holds a special place in Jewish history as a land where Jews have lived free of persecution and thrived since the days of the Temple. While usually forgotten in the popular Jewish history, the Jewish communities within India have profoundly shaped the fates and fortunes of the Jewish people worldwide, and with them the world. If you're interested in learning more, there are a ton of Jewish sites in the city that I mentioned that are still in use and open to the public. I personally didn't go to India to research this video, But I did visit the Cochin Heritage Center in Nevatim, just
That's
outside
in
Beersheba,
Israel.
which is where I got all of this footage, and visitors are welcome by appointment pending COVID-19 restrictions.
That was really
Special
interesting. I
thanks to
love
my
how he
patrons,
actually
including
made
my
the
Geoni,
research.
Lebcham,
Please
Gary
link in the
Davidson,
description.
Vicky
Go watch the original video. Go watch other videos. The guy's amazing. Like his video, comment on his video. Yeah, this is really. I love how he is also making things so clear and just like explaining things really really clearly. And also the drawing, everything, it's really interesting. I love that he did not just mention people from like some people are, but actually gave names. This was really interesting. I did not know about the drug thing, so that was I don't know what to tell you about this. One thing that was really important for me to say, first of all, the Jewish people, I mean, we just called Jewish people because Judea was like a major part, a major tribe, but there are 12 tribes. So this is not just one group of people. There are a lot of several groups of people, and a lot of them, a lot of those tribes had different holidays. I mean, we all were like, again, we all were Jewish, like Judaism was our like religion, but a lot of different holidays, with the like where you live, where you work, stuff like this. So people that emigrated or had to leave the country, our country, modern day Israel, were from different tribes. This is why there are a lot of different type of Jewish people. And one thing really important about the Bnei Menashe, I'm not saying that what they thought is wrong. I'm just saying that this is really important for me to like let you know. In Judaism, this is not like Christianity or Islam. Our goal is not to make the world Jewish. Like this is absolutely not our point. Honestly, if someone is telling me he wants to convert to Judaism, I have to tell him not to do this. This is honestly one thing I have to do. I cannot just say, "Oh, great. Let's see how can I help you." This like I need to tell them, do not do this. Only if they are really into it and study a lot. Only then they can, because we're not a religion that is trying to make all the world be like us. Absolutely not. This is not our thing. So I absolutely love how interesting and how this video had so many details and educated about like so many things, so many like small information that just gathered to one big video that explains a lot. So thank you so much for the person who recommended this video to me. Let me know what you think about this video and about, Jewish people in India in general. I'll see you next video. Bye guys.